Hello, and welcome to Detroit Performs. I'm your host, DJ Oliver, and today I'm at Trinity House Theater in Livonia. Trinity House Theater exists to enrich and enliven Metro Detroit communities through works of art. I'll be taking you on a tour of this place throughout the show. Our first segment features Detroit Public Theater, which brings world-class, mind-stimulating, and joyful plays to Detroit audiences. We caught up with Detroit Public Theater during their production of Dot.
Looking through this old trunk of family albums, report cards, newspaper clippings from when Clinton won.
Obama won.
Family reunion t-shirts. Cassette tape.
I think anything in this moment in time that reminds us how much we have in common as opposed to what we don't have in common is really, really important. The thing that I heard about Detroit Public Theater, even being out in New York, was just the caliber of the productions that they were putting up, but also the kinds of stories that they were telling. Like Detroit 67, which is about the city, obviously, and Dot and Murder Ballad. I mean, these are all plays that have been written very recently that are tackling interesting subjects about sexuality, about family, about race, about the resurgence of cities. The Detroit Public Theater is led by 3 women. I wish that I could tell a different story today about the rise of women in power and the rise of women in positions of authority, creative, political, whatever it is. And so the fact that it's happening with this theater, our set designer is female as well. And there are incredible women who should be at the table, who should be creative, who should be leaders. And so for a theater to be run by not 1, not 2, but 3 women, and to be invited into the fold there, and for them to be telling these tough, challenging artistic stories, I think it's a fantastic thing for the city and for the American theater as a whole.
Once you start moving, come to the table, come all the way up, you can sit, you can start getting things ready.
The play that I'm directing is the second production of the Detroit Public Theater season. It's called Dot by Coleman Domingo.
Dot. She is a woman who is dealing with Alzheimer's, and her 3 awesome but difficult children are coming over for the holidays. It's near Christmas, and they are figuring out a way individually and collectively on how to deal with their new reality of the sickness that their mother has.
If you really want a family decision, then you really have to involve the family, not dictate everything and then get mad because you feel so put upon.
Avery's right.
They're at different levels of acceptance about the extent of her disease, and so we get to see them deal with it. And it represents a family that's very much a modern American family. There's a gay son who has an interracial relationship, and 2 fierce, incredible black women as well, and a neighbor who's Caucasian, and a health worker who's from Kazakhstan. So it's this beautiful depiction of what it means to be an American in this moment, I think. What family means, what coming together means, what rallying means as a community and as a family.
And I can make the giblet stuffing from the drippings of your fancy turkey too. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, Avery, we are not having carbs.
What?
Or gluten.
Say what now?
Or dairy.
Or anything that brings joy. Pure unadulterated joy.
You know, modern agrarian practices.
Y'all about to get on my nerves.
I play the youngest, Avery. She is loud. She is a bowl of different flavors. She is very outspoken, and she tells it like it is, even if the moment is not the right moment. And that's when I was like, she's fun. I like her. When some people are being so serious and it's a very serious moment, she's like, what do we have to do?
Latex gloves, tape pebbles. Mama, what kind of freaky dicky stuff you getting?
Shut up, Avery. Fidel, explain.
Shelly is my overbearing older sister, and Donnie is my older brother. Shelly, she is more of the caregiver at this moment to our mother, and she has all of the responsibility. So you can imagine, like, you know, I need help, and I'm irritated, and I need y'all to step up and to help. Donnie, he's dealing with stuff within his marriage, but he's like, you know what, I have a life as well. But Shelly is really the one who let us know as the younger siblings, like, this is serious and we all need to sit down and talk about it. And we deal with that in a more interesting way as well.
Family meeting. Now. What, now? You know a better time?
You are locking a woman with Alzheimer's and her illegal caregiver in the basement for a few minutes. We all need to talk.
Okay, well, I'll just go upstairs, check some emails.
No, you too, Adam. You're a part of this family too, and since I can't reach you both in a timely manner, I have to lock a woman with Alzheimer's and her illegal caregiver in the basement. I made a list.
It's this real diverse representation of a family at Christmas time, coming together, but also dealing with a family member who's on the brink of illness, about a mother who's also an elder, and what it means to take care of our elders in this community. So it does all this, asks these very tough questions, and it's wrapped up in this beautiful dark comedy. So there's a lot of humor, there's a lot of life, as happens, you know, when families come together during the holidays. There's a lot of laughter, but there are tears too.
Most times you have to laugh to keep from crying, you know, and when I first read the script, I was like, how could you make a joke at that time, like at this moment? But it's hilarious, it really is. Every last person within this, even Dot, the one who is dealing with the sickness, she will have you cracking up.
Who is that cleaning lady? I don't know her.
Mom, that's Shelly.
Shelly?
Yes, and that's Donnie.
Looking just like your father.
So at a moment, you probably feel like, oh my goodness, I want to cry, but right there, we snatch you and make you just want to cry laughing. The meaning of the story is very therapeutic because my mom, she had an early stage form of dementia. She passed in July. So getting into this, it was like, oh my goodness, how am I gonna feel about doing this? But it's very therapeutic because it's some things that goes on within the play that I myself really did experience. Madeline, the awesome actress who plays Dot, I would whisper to her at times like, oh my goodness, you sound just like my mother. Or things that that's within the script that I'm like, oh, I remember when I had to go through that, of having to repeat something back to back and not getting frustrated. And then when the person realized that they are repeating it, how angry and frustrated they get from it. And she is delivering that role to me in such a real way.
Mom,
Yes?
do you know who I am?
Why are you asking me that? Of course I know you. Yes, you my baby.
Yes. I'm your baby, Mom.
I wasn't an Avery in the situation, but it made me realize like love is the most powerful thing on this planet, because no matter what you go through, no matter what your family is going through, one of the toughest things that you're going through, love will push you through, and family is everything. So I'm honored. I really am honored to have been chosen to play this role because it's important to the story. So I'm just thankful.
I think it's important to have plays like Dot because they remind us how universal what we're dealing with is. This is an African American family in West Philly, but there are white families and Latino families and Hispanic families that are dealing with similar things. Something like Alzheimer's afflicts us no matter who we are or what we're from or what the color of our skin is. This play is able to break down walls in our society, but just reminding us about the things that we have in common rather than the things that we don't have in common. And I think, you know, we just need to be reminded that there are people among us who can bring so much, can make our country so much richer just by virtue of like their humanity. When the audience leaves the play, I want them to laugh. I want them to feel buoyant. I want them to celebrate the fact that they're alive and to look at their family members. And if there is something going on in their family, to deal with it, to say like, I think I saw a family move through something that was difficult, I can do the same with mine. And do it with joy, do it with celebration, do it with positivity and optimism.
You can learn more about Detroit Public Theater as well as all the artists we feature on DetroitPerforms.org.